Hello fellow YouTubers, in this video I'm going to be doing an unboxing of the Sony CyberShot digital camera DSC HX20V. Now you're probably aware of the newer model which is HX30V, however it's just it has a Wi-Fi functionality where this one doesn't. Now at the moment this particular one goes for quite a low price tag and I couldn't find the 30V. So this video is basically for you guys who are interested in this camcorder and want to use the big discounts that there are on the market at the moment. So first I'm going to show you around the box, then I'm going to show you what are the contents of the box, and then I'm going to show you the actual camera and obviously the menus and things like that. Now guys, I'm not going to show any sample photos or videos from this camera, simply because there's tons of such content on YouTube already. So I'm going to skip that part. I just want to make you aware that such thing exists, and at the moment it's on a great sale, and what are the benefits to you. So let's get started. Right, so box first. On the front we have some details about the camcorder, so about the camera. So obviously the picture of the camera, a recommendation to get an additional battery, 18.2 megapixels, 20x optical zoom, 40x digital zoom, which I don't recommend you guys to use it, 3-inch LCD, and full HD movie. Now this camcorder actually shoots full HD 1080p at 50 frames per second if you're in Europe, or 60 frames per second if you're in the US. It has battery of 320 shots. Now that obviously depends whether you use flash or not and things like that, but still handy to have. And on the back we have some accessories that are supplied and details of the system that you can use. Now it has a Mac kind of logo there, so I suppose that means Mac friendly, and some recommended accessories like a camera case and additional charger and things like that. Okay, so I'm gonna open the camera box and show you what's inside. Okay, so inside we have obviously the camera itself, battery, charger cable, charger itself, and cable that goes from charger to camera, which is a bit confusing. Maybe I'm gonna start with that, guys. So basically the way it works is you have this kind of adapter to convert your electricity into whatever you need to use, so voltage and whatnot. So you plug it in like so, and then you plug in the USB cable on another end, and then this goes into the camera. Now, this looks a bit really ridiculous, guys, to be honest with you. I suppose this is because of EU regulations. I think they decided to go with the USB cables to the devices. So basically if you lose that charger, maybe you can use another one of similar specs. I don't know, maybe not, but I find it a bit peculiar. Another thing while I'm talking about the charger is the camera. The camera actually has the slot here for charging and the tripod here, which means you won't be able to have the camera on the tripod and charging at the same time, which is really not great. And on top of that, your battery compartment opens right beside it. So it means while the camera is on the tripod or on the tripod mount, you won't be able to access the battery, the memory card, or to charge the camera or to transfer from the camera using USB cable. So a bit awkward. Anyway, then you have the standard Sony battery, which is NPBG1, and it's 910 milliamp hours, so not a huge battery, but battery nonetheless. You have lots of manuals there and information and whatnot of what you should buy, what you shouldn't, and then you have a wrist strap, which is also included. So next I'm going to adjust my cameras a little bit so you could see the menus, and I'm going to show you the camera around, and I'm going to show you the menus. Okay, and that's the camera itself. So in the front you have a lens, 20x optical zoom, and some details. about the suppose how wide it is and whatnot. Now it has a huge crop factor and the sensor is quite small, so these wouldn't really compare with DSLRs. You have a nice grip here. You have a little light to help you with the autofocus. Little thingy there for the wrist strap and HDMI. Okay. On the bottom, as I mentioned to you, it has a tripod mount and inconveniently placed USB charging battery there compartment with the memory card slot. I'm actually going to pop in the battery so I can proceed straight to the menus after this. And the battery just goes in simply like that. Clicks in and then you close the door. Now I heard some guys saying about the door being flimsy. Not really, no move there. And you have obviously some information there like a GPS. On the back, some fingerprints of mine. And you have a control dial there. A little bit of grip, so when you're holding the camera like so. And a few buttons there, we'll go around them later. On the top you have flash. You have a zoom in, zoom out, stereo microphone, which is handy to have obviously. And you have a dial there again for the mode. So you have the automatic mode, you have automatic with a noise reduction, and in-camera X-ray in-camera processing, you have program mode, manual mode, memory recall if I'm not mistaken, so you can set a couple menus there. You have the panorama button, you have the movie button, 3D, so 3D includes 3D picture, 3D panorama, and 3D in-camera viewable. It's more of a gimmick than anything else. You have a scenery mode to select scenes, and you have background blur, which kind of works if you're taking pictures of somebody. Not really great if you're taking pictures of, I don't know, some sort of a man-made objects, like maybe another camera or something like that, just for your own review or things like that, because it kind of blurs the edges, soften the edges as well. So not great for sharp edges. For faces, so it's quite okay. So I'm gonna leave on the automatic mode. There's an on-off button on the top, and also, by the way, custom button that you can obviously customize. And this is the startup sequence, so obviously gonna go through everything great and whatnot. And here's another thing that you can choose. You can choose display color, so you can choose either black, you can choose kind of gray, and you can choose pinky. So suppose for girls that would be handy to have. I'll go with the middle one just for this review so you guys could see it. And GPS mode, I'm gonna switch that off for the moment because I'm not gonna be using that. Display resolution, standard or high. Standard, I suppose, yep, to save the battery, there you go. And a high, obviously, when you want to see the quality of images. I would go with standard, guys. You're not gonna see the difference really. And then you have a question mark button there, so basically to help you in. Now first, as you can see, the object is only about 10 centimeters away, which is 3-4 inches, and it focuses just fine. If I go to about, say, I know it's a bit blurry, but if I go as close as to 1 inch, it still focuses just fine. But actually, I can't take the picture because I don't have a memory card, but trust me, it focuses nearly as far as close as you can touch it. So pretty neat. Now for the controls, I suppose I'll just skip to some things like manual, which you can control, and I'm gonna review that quickly. So you press the middle button and you can adjust the time of exposure up to 30 seconds, which is pretty neat if you're taking pictures of night sky on the tripod or something like that. And you can, you can choose as fast as 1/6000th of the second, which is also good to have. Next, you have your f-stop, so you can go 3-2 or 8. Now, for some reason, that's about it. When you zoomed in, so let's say we're gonna zoom into 5 times zoom, this changes, and also I can go to F11. So you really have 2 options there, guys. You can go through the whole scale. So a bit disappointing, but once again, it's just point and shoot. ISO, you have settings from 100 all the way to 12,800. Now I won't try the quality of that, as I mentioned to you before. In terms of the memory recall, that's how it would look like. So you can set some functions here. Now another one that you might be interested in would be maybe automatic, well, sorry, not automatic, the scenery mode. The other ones are pretty self-explanatory. So these are the scenes that you guys have. Just gonna go quickly through them. So if you want, just pause the video there. So nice to have point and shoot for 3D. As I mentioned, you have a 3D still, you have 3D panorama, and you have sweep multi-angle. What it does is basically take a picture like a panorama, so rotating like so, let's say. And then when you tilt the camera, it rotates the image. So you don't really see 3D depth, but as you rotate the camera, it actually goes in the picture left to right. So it seems as if you are rotating 3D image. Neat feature to have, I suppose, for in-camera mode. I wouldn't go further than that. Now for video mode, you don't really have much. I'm not sure if you can do any manual settings like at least that ISO or white balance. I don't think you can. If you go into menus, which I try to go in and select, obviously the quality, you can select up to 1080p, 50p, or modes with an eye, and basically can still shoot stills, your compensation, smile shot and things like that, but you don't have any. You can choose scenery, so you have a scene selection. You can work around with this, but basically it's fully automatic, guys. So now obviously I have a sweep panorama. Now for the sweep panorama, I saw some confusing reviews saying you can sweep left to right only. That's not true. You can change the direction by clicking arrow, so towards left, towards right, down and up. And you can obviously shoot like so and then sweep it like that. So sky's the limit really, guys. And that's about it really for the modes and menus. Oh, flash, nearly forgot. So flash, let's say you have these settings. If I just switch off flash, it just goes in. And if I just switch it on, the moment I focus, it goes out. And this is how the flash would look like on the front of the camera. So pretty nice. And then I'll show you how it goes in. There you go. So fast enough. Now the last thing I'm going to show you, I suppose, is the power on time. So we're going to switch it off. And I'm going to switch to automatic mode. We see how long will it take to take an actual picture. So as you see, maybe a second or so, not too long, so you won't be delayed by anything. And custom button, obviously you can customize. I think you have 4 options. I actually go in the menus for you guys there, so you would have an idea what the custom button does. If I can find the actual setting, I can quickly go through the settings for you guys if you're interested. So these are the settings that you have. Obviously you can switch off this annoying sound, and there's your custom button. So EV, ISO, white balance. Now if I choose white balance, I'll show you, we'll go to the movie mode a bit later. Just want to go through the menus quickly, guys, so you can maybe stop over and have a look. Okay, so custom button is set now to white balance, and if I'm going to go into, sorry, I skipped that, into the movie mode, and I'm going to try to press the custom, white balance not available. So as you see, movie mode is completely automatic. However, if you are in any other mode, that might work. Nope. Manual and program, I think it's only for. So custom. Okay, picture effect illustration. So go figure. Anyway, the menus could be a bit cumbersome if you are used to DSLR or anything like that. I'm used to DSLR myself, or Micro Four Thirds anyway. So the menus could be a bit confusing, but if you go to with intelligent auto for the first couple hundred shots, you'd be grand until you learn. Now, some things to note, guys. If you're a DSLR shooter and you're thinking this might replace DSLR, not a chance. If you're thinking of buying this instead of Micro Four Thirds camera system, it's not gonna do any good. Now, the movie quality is good enough to watch on YouTube and things like that, but once you compare it to even an old camera like a Panasonic GH1, the GH1 quality would be much better than this one. If you watch them separately, you might not be able to tell the difference, but once you compare them side by side, this one has quite heavy noise reduction, while GH1 can produce pretty nice result there without any noise reduction, anything like that, and then you can modify later. Obviously, you have very little manual controls in terms of the movie anyway. For stills, you do have a manual mode and you can set the ISO, maybe a white balance. I think you should be able to set the white balance. And, you know, exposure time and f-stops. However, it's limited to what you can do. But overall, it's a nice camera to have as a point and shoot. Well, that's what it is. And guys, if you are interested into pocket camera that can do really good quality films and shots, now I can assure you this camera is really good in low light, at least compared to other point and shoot cameras. So if you're going on holiday, this is the camera to have. So there are a few things to be aware of that I mentioned before, but other than that, I would highly recommend the camera. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them at the comment section down below. If you liked the video, click the like button and subscribe. And as always, have a nice day.